Okay, hello everybody. It's Alex again, and I'm joined by Alka this time.
Howdy.
And we're going to cover the game we played with Clubber last week, and we're going to go over things position by position this time, as opposed to the other VOD that's going up today, which is a team VOD. And so I'm going to be covering top and mid, and Alka is going to cover Clubber and bot lane. So, starting with Straya, you already know what I'm about to say. Okay, you're playing Jax, you're playing into Yorick. Yorick has stronger early game than you do. You have a stronger late game than he does. Mid game, it can be a bit of a toss up. Okay. However, this dive is a lot of yikes. One, you don't have W, right? W, part of Jax's bread and butter, does a lot of damage, and in this dive, actually probably would have netted you the kill. So, let's see how this goes. This guy's pretty low. Okay, hold on a second. Let's back up. Let's see the setup. Okay. You take the trade with him. Push up your wave. We don't know for sure where Set is yet. We haven't seen him anywhere. You going for the trade. He's really low. You flash after him. You cancel the auto. He gets the Q, gives him health. If you have W here, that auto, as long as it's W, always kills. Because you don't have W, he gets the heal off of Q. That means you have to use 2 autos. You don't have time for 2 autos. You take the counter shot and die, right? I understand why you took Q. E, I guess I can understand. If you really wanted to fight him this early, you should have just waited till level 3, right? Your W would have saved you in that dive. It would have gotten you the kill earlier. You really need that ability, even if you're going to be fighting him all in at all early game. Okay, and then you do what everyone memes top laners about, and you pull a Shinshin TP. And so you see you come in right. Let's see here. Okay. Second, you start TPing here, this is really, really rough, right? If Set is on the top side of the map, which, spoiler alert, he is, he can very easily come up here, catch you out because you're pushed up and you don't have vision. He can easily catch you out here, and then Yorick could kill you again with his help. But, you know, the Shinshin TP goes through, and you walk up, and you take the dive after a little bit of abuse. You're still level 2. He's level 3. Second he hits level 3, the thing that should go through your mind is he has the wall. He has his little baby cage. And you only have jump counter-strike. You don't have W. Okay? You stun him here on the edge. Look at that. Again, he has, what is that, 97 HP? I wish I could pull that away. Yeah, he has 93 HP. Okay? You're talking 84 AD plus your W damage. You're talking 120 damage. W auto, 100% would kill him. Okay? But you don't have W. So you auto him once. He runs inside of the baby cage. You can't get to him because your Q's on cooldown. You die. Set shows up. This is part of the reason why the Shinshin TP is brutal. But this dying, TPing back, dying sets you incredibly far behind, right? Because now the gold difference. Look at that. He actually has almost double your gold. You have 800 gold. He has 1500 gold. He is now huge. And, okay, we're going to see it in a second. He's going to come back to lane, and he's going to be strong. Okay, now he can jump a little bit into the future. Go to about here. Okay, you're taking another fight with him. This man has a whole ass phage, and you've got 2 pink wards, right? I love that you bought these, by the way, but they don't give you any stats. This man, for all intents and purposes, short of a colossal screw-up, should clap your cheeks, okay? And as much as I want to regret it, he absolutely does end up doing that. Okay. You go for the fight. He bops you. Right. This man. Okay. Thanks, directed camera. Okay. So what ends up happening is you call Clubber. Clubber comes up top. You stay. You're on 1 hit, right? If he Q autos you, you're dead. and you're looking for the outplay with Clubber, you're probably thinking to yourself, I need to E his Q auto, in which case you don't instantly die. But Clubber walks away here. Okay? Clubber walks away. You don't win the 1v1 in this situation without him. So he just puts the baby cage down. You counter strike him. He doesn't care. He just walks away. And then pop. Okay? At this point, now he's 3-0. The gold difference is 1,000. That's a whole sheen. Just stop fighting him, right? You do, right? You do end up killing him. No cap. You do end up killing him somewhere in here, right here. You outplay him not once, but twice. I believe this is a gank. You kill him, right? That's good. It brings you back into the game. But can you imagine how much further ahead you would have been if you had this and this play without these, right? If this point you're 2-0 by 10 minutes instead of 2-3 at 10 minutes, that's a pretty big deal. Okay. Now wait. Jump forward. Okay. This is so hard to watch, right? Okay. At this point, you've gotten your 2 kills. You have a bounty. You're actually pretty close to him in gold. You're only about 200 apart now. Okay. He just kites you around. He heals up off a minion. He hits you with that, and then pop. That's really hard to watch. He just kited you around. He used goals. He used minions. He used the maiden. Because when you walk down and around, you're chasing him up this way. The maiden just kept free hitting you the whole time. Okay, so you gotta put a lot of thought into who are you fighting? Why are you fighting them? What do you have? What do they have? Don't just don't just throw yourself at them. Okay, and then this is mostly a micro game. You do a lot of split pushing. You do a lot of farming. Can't complain about that. And you're usually where people needed you to be. So you did a lot of things right in this game. Okay, this is also really, really tough. So this is like a short, a little bit of a team fight. You got like a 3-on-3, maybe 4-on-3. Okay, so you're okay with that. Now, the thing you like, right? Because here's a perk. You're a fighter, and you're trying to flank, right? You're behind Yorick, you're behind Set. The flank is good. The problem is, you don't have anybody to support this flank, because your bot lane is trying to get out. Okay? So you're deep. There are 3 people triangulating on you, way closer than your bot lane can get to you. So they just catch you out. Ari at this point is 9-0. If you just eat your ass for breakfast, you're dead. Okay? Flank was good. Timing of when you went in and how deep you went in, not so great. Okay? I don't know what the awful noises. Okay. So, big takeaways for you, Stray, from this game is just you got to think. You got to think about who you're fighting, why you're fighting, how are you fighting them, right? Because later on, you get a good kill. You outplay this guy right here. Okay? Just real quick, watch this. You take the trade, you use Counter-Strike very well, you run him towards your tower, he tries to kite you, but you have Leap Strike, you outplayed him, you could do it. Now, imagine how much stronger you would have been if you weren't down in the early game. Okay. Invalence. Now it's your turn to get flamed. Smile. Invalence, you did a lot of good things in this game, right? I'm going to point out 1 or 2 real quick. This. So he pushes up the wave in the early parts of the game when you guys are even. You pull the wave up. None of it goes to tower. You don't lose turret damage. You don't lose farmer to turret. Great. Good job. Big fan of that. Okay. Another good thing you do is on display right here. You ward here, and then you play to this side of the lane, right? Splendid. That's how to position as a mid laner in lane phase 101. But it's good. You consistently did it, and you either stayed to the side of the one lane where you had vision, or you got vision on both sides, and you played to the side of your jungler a lot. Great job. Okay. First death. Okay. I very much think that this is just getting a little greedy here. Okay. Let's see. Set walks into lane. Okay. Okay. He chains you. Tombsby is here. God bless. He saves you. Right. He gets him off you. Just walk away. Right. Just walk away. You don't have to try and make this further because Set Ahri does a lot more damage than Syndra Thresh. Okay. Just walk away. But unfortunately, you keep trying to trade with Set, and then he hits you with the W, and Ahri just goes in on you, picks you. Just walk away. Okay. Now we're gonna skip forward. Okay. So this death, uh, this is just respect, right? Okay. Sorry. Ahri, at this point, you both have Lost Chapter, Endurance Ring, and Boots, but she has Dark Seal, which means she has more mana, she has more healing, and she has more AP. You just have to respect the fact that she has better stats at the moment, right? Because AP is 88 to 73. It's not a lot in late game of difference, 15 AP, but in the early game, that's a pretty big difference. That's the difference between not having a Doran's Ring, okay? And the other thing is, you're half health, she has Ignite, she has Electrocute, and she has Ult. And Charm. She can kill you. You just straight up, you have to respect the damage she has. You have to respect the damage she can output, and you have to remember, right? Okay, Charm makes you take 20% more damage from her abilities, right? So while her Q may only do 145 going out and coming back, 20% more damage on both of those ticks. That's a big difference. Okay. So once you're down, if you die in lane, you just have to respect them, right? It sucks. You're going to have to give some things up, but you just have to respect it. Okay. Okay. This is the same kind of thing, right? Okay. You get this beautiful stun. Great job. You Q her. That's where you need to walk away. Once you threw that Q down, you need to step back, right? You got a good trade. That's what you have to take. When you step up to go for this fight, you're pretty greedy. You have 113 AP. Now she is 138. That lead from last time has gone up. Now she has 25 AP over you. Okay? Guess what? She's still got Electrocute. She's still got Charm. Her damage is nothing to scoff at, and you're about 75% HP. So that Charm hits you. The W hits you. The Q hits you. You take a lot of damage. You almost kill her. Granted that. You almost kill her. But you get way lower, you lose the trade, minions kill you. You're 0-2 at that point. You just have to be respectful, right? She's stronger than you. You can outplay her, but you need to do it incrementally, right? That's why I say the stun into the Q, perfectly fine. Get the trade, walk away, then you're good. You don't want to push it past that. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Let me see which one this is. Okay. This one's really brutal. This is just a little bit of respect. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. Your AP is 113. Her AP is 220. She is Boots finished. You don't. She has Loons finished. You don't. She has the baby Magi's. You don't. You just have to be really, really respectful. You have to realize that she can and will one-shot you, especially with Electrocute. And she does it here. She gets this really almost kind of absurd, right? That hitbox is really brutal. Really brutal. But it hits you. Okay? As soon as it hits you, Q, R, W, you just die. Right? You just need to sit back. You just need to be very careful. Especially with the wave being right there. Just stand behind the wave. She can't hit charm. That means she doesn't get the amp. She doesn't get to fight you without you being able to fight back. Just give her space. Okay. A lot of League of Legends is about learning how to minimize your losses. So that's what this is. That's what this is for Everybody. It's about learning how to lose with grace when you can. Okay. This is just really unfortunate. Um, because Jax walks down here, right? Jax walks down here. I, let's just be sure. Ari sees him, but only temporarily. But then she sees you walking down because you don't have vision down here. Okay. No vision here. No vision here. No vision here. She's sitting in your jungle, and I won't say you guys picked a fight without vision, but you just at this situation you need to just have shallow vision because she just Ariel one shot whoever she wants out of the bush if you don't. Okay. And finally, the game's pretty out of control at this point, but okay, you're backing, and a fight breaks out right at your mid first turret. Okay. You stop backing and start walking to this. If you, for instance, were Jax, this is perfectly okay because you got a flank on this Ahri, you got a flank on Twitch. The fact of the matter is, this Ahri, and we'll see what she does here. Ahri can just turn around and one shot you, right? As soon as she sees you right here, she goes like WEQ, pops the banshees, one shots you, you died. Okay. The flank is good if you're ahead, fine. Even, fine. But if you're a lacking damage mage, you don't want to be doing this. Okay. She kills Zac. You actually do stun her there, which is good. But you walk up here. She Sonya's your ult. Sejuani pops your banshees. And let's see what happens here. I think Ahri dies. Yeah, Ahri does die. But she let's actually see that real quick again. She manages to basically one-shot you here. Okay, let's see it. Okay, what does she hit you with here exactly? Does she hit you with EQ? Yeah, she hits you with E. The E hits you and chunks you. Just fact of the matter, your positioning there was pretty iffy, especially so if you're behind. So yeah, the things to take away from top and mid this game are you have to think about what you're fighting, who you're fighting, and how they're going to respond, right? And if you get behind, how do you get back into it? You don't get back into it by all-inning. You get back into it by being incremental, right? If you are behind 0-1, you don't or 0-2, let's say. Don't take the straight up 1v1. They have more gold, they have more stats, they should win unless they make a big mistake. What you want to do is just go for a good trade. Go for a good farm, go for a good roam, right? Don't just straight up try to stat check them. Try to make incremental changes in your lane state or try to extend gold to other parts of the map. So yeah, just playing from behind is a really hard skill to get good at, and honestly, it's not a fun skill to get good at. You don't want to be good at losing, but it's really important, especially in competitive. And you're going to hear me say that a lot. There are a lot of skills in League of Legends that are especially important for competitive, and learning how to lose lane and how to still be useful is definitely one of them. Okay, I'm going to pass it off to Alka for reviewing bot and jungle, and I'll just direct camera as he says.
Alrighty. First of all, if you've watched the video so far, I want to commend you guys for sticking with it. It's probably going to be a long one, but we're going to start with the jungle, right down to the level 1. Alrighty. Let me just get a timestamp for Alex. Alex, if you could fast forward to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Alright. Let me know when you're there.
Okay, he just finished clearing wolves, 230.
Alright, so when you guys played this game, I remember telling you start bot side as Zac in this situation, and I believe I told you afterwards that it was because you wanted to gank the a volatile lane, that being top lane, because it's a 2 scaling champs, 1v1ing, they're both melee. If you get one ahead, then they're going to be able to deny farm, split push, and sort of force the other one out and starve them out of gold. Unfortunately, by the time you finish Wolves, you 3-camp, you finish Wolves, we see that top lane's actually pushing into York. So that plan automatically goes out the window. We can't do that. However, we don't invade. We know Set started bot side, and after you finish this Wolf, Alex, if you want to play it, we see you immediately start running mid, this would be a good gank. Right now would be when I go at 245. Syndra hits a great stun. You end up sitting there not doing much. I know it's because your E range is very short, but even still, getting into the lane, busting a flash, you throw your Q, and then auto attack a minion. Ahri's going to have to flash, or she's probably going to die. While we try and go for that gank, it doesn't pan out. We end up going into Set's jungle. We know he started bot side, so at most you get 2 camps here. You take the long way around the red buff. I'm not sure why. He started a red buff. You check the red buff, it's not there. You E onto Krugs, they're not there either. So now I'm going to go ahead and pause at 330. Now you're all the way bot lane. It's 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You spend 30 seconds in the enemy jungle, or on your way to the enemy jungle. You finish wolves around 2:30. Walk into the enemy jungle. Look for a gank mid. Doesn't pan out. You get chickens, so that's 1 camp. You go check You take the long way around the red. The red's not there because he started bot side, which we knew. York showed in lane the whole time. Bot lane didn't. And then you go into Krugs, and Krugs aren't there. So now you've only gotten 1 camp. It's 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You didn't get a gank, and now your top side jungle is still up. So now I think you clear Scuttle and then head for a gank mid, which also doesn't pan out. Yep, here you are doing the Scuttle. And sort of we've now wasted... actually, you don't go for the gank mid, where you should have. I actually talked to Complex today about this. Every time I used to play jungle, I would do what's called a pass-through gank. If I was moving to the opposite side of the map, I would always gank mid. Just because I can literally, if I'm Zac, I can E into the lane, throw a couple of skills at the Ahri, they miss, whatever, she forces a sum, or nothing happens, you give a little bit of pressure, she loses HP, whatever. And then you move on to the next side of the next half of the map to get your jungle camps. So here we see you walk all the way from bot side. You get 2 camps in total, Scuttle and Raptors. Then you get your own Raptors. And then you pass by your red buff to go help Straya top lane. And he's... it's going to sound rough to say this, but he's already, he's lost lane. He's already, died, TP'd back. And now... we see him barely escape from a gank, barely escape from York. You sit in that brush for a little bit too long. He starts backing, you leave. He goes in, he dies again. We go try and do the Scuttle. Syndra unfortunately takes the Scuttle. It happens. I think I said this earlier. Not bad players, just bad mistakes. So here you start your red buff. Your first red buff finishes at 6 minutes, which is a lot of time, which is about 3 minutes after it should be down, right? Now your entire red side jungle is 3 minutes behind because you took your red buff at 6 minutes rather than 3 minutes. So now think about how much gold and time that you've lost just sort of trying to invade and get information down their jungle. However, you do get a very nice ward down in their jungle to help us track the set, but we already know where the set is at this point. So pretty much what I want to highlight here is set started bot side because of how the lanes started the level 1. York started in lane, and bot lane did not show immediately. You 3-camped on your blue side, which is fine, perfectly okay. However, you go for the invade on the set, which you don't win 1v1. If you ran into set in the jungle, then you're going to lose that 1v1, and then you're probably going to end up dying to set. You did have bot prio, so maybe they could have collapsed, but I don't think it was likely. And then your top side ends up going down 3 minutes after it should be, which it could have respawned twice in the time that your Raptors and Krugs could have spawned twice in that amount of time. So already you're going to be down, you know, XP and gold from where you should be had you just gone top and cleared your top side. 3 minutes. First red 6 minutes. All right. So I want to talk about efficient pathing. An efficient path, if you're a farm-heavy jungler who doesn't really want to gank, like say a Karthus, your ideal path is pretty much just going to be Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Gromp in that order. Well, not in that order, but it's going to be your outside to your inner camp, to your inner camp, to your outside camp. Of course, getting your buffs in between. You're going to pretty much just do that on repeat. On most junglers, if you know you're going to try and gank a lane in about 30 seconds, you can do something which is called cycling your camps. It's a very nice and efficient way to make sure that your camps are respawning, because without your camps, you're losing gold, XP, and yeah, you're losing gold and XP. You want to try and clear your inner camp, outer camp, gank a lane. So it would be your inner camp would be Raptors and Wolves. For example, you would go Raptors, Krugs, gank top, get Herald if it's up. If you get a successful gank top, recall, go Wolves, Gromp bot lane, pop Herald, and then you can get plating onto your ADC, or you can go to Dragon. And this allows us to make sure our camps stay down, because you want to have your camps down as much as you can so they respawn faster. And it sort of helps you generate, you know, a level lead, as well as a gold lead, because you know your camps are obviously giving you gold, and it also allows you an easy sort of way to help your team and say, hey, I'm ganking in 30 seconds. Here's the route I'm going to take. Another thing I want to talk about is your build. I believe this game you go Cinder Hulk, which is correct. Merc Treads, which is fine. But you actually go Thornmail second, I believe. Let me just double check that real quick.
Yeah, it looks to
Don't
be
think you.
true.
Yeah, it should. You were bought the Bramble Vest. You were working on Thornmail. You end up buying the Spirit Visage later in the game, but at the point at which you start, you buy Bramble Vest. You should just honestly be rushing Spirit Visage. You take the 1,000, gold detour of the Bramble Vest when their ADs are fed, but the one who's impacting the map the most is Ahri. And then third item, you could go Stoneplate here. Stoneplate is going to be very good, especially for team fights, and especially how Zach wants to play. You want to long range, engage, E into the team. There's more than 3 people around you, so you're definitely getting the double HP on Stoneplate, as well as just the raw tank stats that it gives through its build path, both armor and magic resist. And then, having that HP being tanky, especially with Aftershock, it's going to make your life a little bit better on Zach, and it's going to allow them to, have to deal with Zach jumping on their backline, rather than just sort of ignore you, right? Another thing I want to talk about is your lack of vision and prio. Sort of understanding when we can invade. There is a time where you invade. Let's see. I'm not sure. I don't actually have the timestamp for it. I believe it is around 1750, Alex. We end up invading at around 18 minutes. Your bot lane has backed. Your mid lane is unfortunately not in a position to be able to help you here. You don't have mid prio, you don't have bot prio, you don't have vision on their jungler, and we decide to invade into the Raptors when you have camps up on that side of the map. You have Grump on that side of the map, which is going to be a lot safer than trying to take the enemy Raptors. And unfortunately, we ended up finding Set in the jungle, getting absolutely ass blasted by their support mid laner and jungler, and we ended up just dying for free when we didn't have to. That's pretty much it for jungle. Early pathing is definitely a big thing. A lot of the time on jungle, you can decide a game within the first and second clear that you have. Being able to path efficiently, keeping your camps down, while getting ganks off on lanes can pretty much set up the game and set up the amount of tempo that you have as a team, and sort of set you up for success. Pretty much just path efficiently. If you want, we can work on that. Like I said, do outer camp, inner camp, outer camp. Or if you're trying to cycle your camps to get ganks off in the side lanes, if mid lane's just going to be a snooze fest, do inner camp, outer camp, and then gank a lane, and then get the objective on that side of the map. All right, moving on to ADC. I want to highlight our lack of vision and our lack of ability to avoid ganks. This first point comes from the ward that we got off as Zach was invading. At about 4 minutes and 30 seconds, Alex.
Okay, got it.
All right, so we see. Do you have Fog of War on, or blue vision, or red vision?
I have red vision on.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit then to 410.
Okay, give me 1 second. Gotta let it catch up. 410.
All right. So Zach ended up invading early and getting a ward down. And right now at about 410, 411, Alex, if you want to play it.
Yep.
On the minimap, we see Set enter his bot side jungle. Now, looking at the state of bot lane, we see that it's going to push into them. We're hard pushing it here. But we have no vision. We know Set's in his bot side jungle. I don't know if you guys know that he's in his bot side jungle, but we should know he's in his bot side jungle. And it takes about 4 seconds for him to walk into the lane before we actually notice him. We end up having to bust Thresh Flash, which is definitely a playmaking tool that we can have later. But it highlights our ability, or our lack of ability, to be able to look at the map while we're CSing, which is a pretty big point. We saw Set in the bot side jungle. Immediately, we should be trying to ward the Tri-Brush, get a little bit, sort of, we see him on his Raptors or around his Raptors, go for a ward in the Tri-Brush as soon as we see him, or understand that he is there and we need to actually respect him. Know that he can sort of, he's in a position to gank bot, you guys are pushing into him, and you end up losing HP, you end up losing Thresh Flash at a time where you guys can pretty much easily run over this lane, right? You're almost 20 CS up already, and it actually just widens to like 40 CS at some point. So we have to respect, Set. We see him on the map. We have to be constantly looking at our map while we CS. We see another example of this, at 8:45, Alex, if you will.
Gotcha.
So pretty much it takes you guys to notice, when you guys notice Set, he's already in the lane. Sorry, Alex, if you want to hit the jump back 15 seconds for me.
To what time?
So we're at 8:30 now.
Okay.
we see we have also on the previous play, Ezreal had a ward and Thresh had 2. So we did. It's not that we didn't have vision; it's that we didn't use vision. So here at 8:30, we see you have the pink ward in the brush. It gets spot by the scrying orb that Set has on his side of the jungle. The lane's unfortunately pushing into you. We see the Set auto the ward. As soon as he's done autoing the ward, we should be backing up or asking for our jungle to gank us. Instead, you guys are playing forward and sort of disrespecting the Set. So he walks in, he R's the Ezreal, and Ezreal just dies, right? There's not much we can do about that. Well, actually there is. We don't walk up there. We need to respect our opponents. When he's clearing the vision, walk back up to your tower, walk to your tribush, walk through to your tribush, near the blast plant, get that ward over the wall. You want to be able to see Set, or at least back up until you know that he's gone. Instead, we're pushing, disrespecting the Set, and assuming that he can't kill us, which we see is not the case. He ends up literally just walking back into bot lane, R'ing the Ezreal, and then we end up losing our Ezreal, and we lose a whole bunch of farm that Twitch is going to push into the lane. This is a lane that we should have easily won, especially considering at this time, the CS, rounding of course, is 30 CS to 70 CS. We are smashing this lane right now. But we're not respecting our opponents. And this sort of comes back to sort of an egotistical thing. I actually did it today in a scrim. We're not respecting our opponents, and we're just automatically assuming that we are better than them, which sometimes can catch us off guard and cause us to die once or twice. I did it today. I saw the enemy locked into Morgana, and I picked Exhaust rather than Cleanse, and I died a lot for it. All right. So we covered those. Gank avoidance and vision. Pretty big things. This Set, they're obviously, maybe a 5-man or maybe not, but they're not exactly coordinated, right? This isn't a team that's practicing for 5s. So in a team that's practicing for 5s, they're going to be a lot better at ganking you. You need to respect the ganks. Don't assume that he's walked away because he's out of vision. One of the things I like to think about is sort of Schrodinger's gank. If you can't see the jungler, he's about to gank you. Keeps me safe a lot of the time that they're actually about to kill me. All right, so I want to highlight another play. If we scroll back to 5:33.
Okay.
We see Ezreal is really far ahead of Thresh. Jax, you need to wait for Thresh. The downfall of ADC right now, which is probably the main problem of ADC, is that you rely on a lot of other people, specifically your support. You need your support to start fights for you. Unless you're playing a mage, you need your support to do it. The Sejuani just immediately engages on you. You actually managed to kill her, which is really lucky for you guys. But if they had, played that a little bit better, Jax probably would have died here. Twitch was just autoing away at the minions instead of autoing Jax, but you need to wait for Thresh. Though it is a good kill onto Sejuani. A place where another place where this goes well, where you do wait for Thresh, is over at 11:15.
Okay.
Here I want to highlight, go ahead and play it, Alex. You let Thresh start the fight. Thresh walks up, hits a hook onto Sejuani. She's pulled forward. You're auto-attacking Sejuani. Very good. You kill the Sejuani. You almost kill the Twitch. He gets away, unfortunately. But you let Thresh start the fight. And that's a big thing. A lot of the times when I watch you play, I notice that you disrespect your opponents. You walk up and sort of are trying to auto them for free. And you end up either getting killed for it, or they bust sums out of you. We saw it with the Set gank. And we're about to see it at 14 minutes, Alex. All right, at 14 minutes, we see another situation where you don't let Thresh start the fight. See, once again, you're starting to get a little ahead of Thresh. Thresh is parallel with you right now. He starts walking back. You're ahead of the Thresh here. The Sejuani immediately initiates on you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause at 420 here, Alex.
Okay.
1420, sorry. Thresh is... We see two separate 1v1s. We see Sedge versus Ezreal, and we see Thresh versus Twitch. And the reason why I say 1v1s is because if you look at the amount of damage that Jax is taking from the Sedge, it far outscales the amount of damage that Twitch is doing to Jax. And this is another thing of Jax walked too far forward, didn't let Thresh start it, he got engaged on, and then the Sejuani pretty much booty slapped him into next century. We should be winning these. We should be winning the 2v2. The farm is almost double. He has 60 CS to your 110. You are miles ahead of him in CS, almost double. What you need to be doing here is you need to be letting Tombs start the fight. And it's not just, you're not letting Tombs start the fight. Tombs needs to recognize that you guys are farther ahead than them and look to start the fight. We saw it happen ideally, the last play at 11:15 where he hooked Sejuani, you killed Sejuani, you almost killed Twitch. That was a good old case of you and Tombs attacking the same target, which was the Sedge. You both focused on the Sedge and immediately turned on to the Twitch. Here, we see Thresh 1v1ing the Twitch, which he almost kills the Twitch. And then we see you 1v1ing Sedge, which Sedge manages to kill you. Twitch manages to last hit you, but that's, neither here nor there. Tombs. In this situation, you don't want to be 1v1ing their ADC. The ADC, as we can see, is not actually doing the most damage to your, Ezreal. You want to walk up and you want to flay the Sejuani away from him rather than to him. I believe I saw the flay come out the opposite direction it should have. And you want to hook the Sejuani away from him. You don't want to be trying to 1v1 the Twitch. You want to be 2v1ing their support and then the Twitch. Fortunately, you guys do manage to pick up both of them here. But make sure that we are 2v1ing the support, focusing down the support, and then turning on the Twitch. The Twitch isn't going to do much. He has Bork. If you look at sort of power dynamics, Thresh is trying to 1v1 the Twitch. He manages to 1v1 the Twitch because ADCs can get 1v1'd by supports right now. However, Sejuani versus Ezreal, Sejuani has Bomby Cinder, which is doing a lot of damage to Ezreal. Plus, she gets 2 procs of her passive, one through R, and then one through auto attacks. So she's doing the most damage. You want to be able to flay her away from that. And then if we look at 17-15,
One second.
let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
We see, Tombs is starting the fights, right? Every fight that you guys win, Tombs is initiating these fights, right? That one, the Sejuani went a little too far forward. She tried to go on you, she ended up missing, or you eat away. But most of the fights that you're winning, Tombs is initiating. So you gotta remember, let your support start the fight. Unless you're playing a mage, then you can try and look for it yourself, but you gotta wait for it. I want to say excellent roams to Tombs this game. You had a good couple of roams. Unfortunately, they were fruitless in the way that either the laner died or they managed to collapse. But I want to say good job on the roams. As the game progresses, Tombs, I'm talking to you now. Jax had his sort of slap fest where I picked on a couple of his mistakes, but we want to be warding on the side that the objective that we want to go for is on. There was a time where all of your wards were around Baron, which is good. However, we made the call to go for Dragon, and we get Dragon, but we end up losing the fight. Make sure your wards are around the objective that you want to go for. Also, on a game where you're on the back foot like this, um, you should be warding as much as you can, using all 3 wards or all 4 wards um, at your jungle entrances, so you know when people are in your jungle. And then we should be backing for more wards. That way we can keep our wards up. If they clear them, you can immediately go over and replace them and keep the defensive wards down. If we have vision, we can start thinking about, hey, maybe we can make a pick here, or hey, maybe they're all on the top side of the map. We can make a play for dragon, or hey, this Twitch is walking through our jungle alone, right? And we can sort of, if we have the vision, we can sort of look for those plays. So try and ward jungle entrances, and then back from our wards. There is only a couple times this game where I watched you actually hit 0 wards. Most of the time, you stayed at 2 or 3 in your inventory. Almost every time, you should have those wards down, immediately back for more, and then place them down again. Also, by pinks. A lot of pinks. One for the objective that you're going for, and one actually down on the map somewhere. And that's sort of what I have. Just to recap, for jungle, early pathing, efficient pathing. Um, that's your camp cycling or just going, from one side of the map to the other and ganking. And also making sure that we get pass-through ganks off. As soon as you transition to one side of the map, you should gank mid and then walk to the other. And then for ADC and support, we want to, actually look at our minimap, because what good is wards if you don't use them? You want to avoid ganks. We saw set bot lane on the 1 ward, but we didn't respect it. Then again, he cleared our ward and we didn't respect him, and then he killed us for it. So we want to work on gank avoidance and vision. And then Jax, we want to Jaximus, sorry. There's actually a Jax in this game. Jaximus, you want to wait for your support to be able to set up the fights that you want to take. And then for tombs, we want to actually put down our wards back and then put down more wards. A good sort of goal to have is around 15-20 minutes, have about 30 vision score. Around 20 minutes you want to have about 30 vision score, and at 30 minutes you want to have around 50. It sort of scales up as the game progresses and you get more wards. You want to be able to hit those targets and actually make sure that you're using your wards. And that is all I got for jungle ADC and support.
Okay, guys, this was a bit of a longer one, but thank you for watching. Hopefully you find some value in it. We're going to keep doing this. We're also going to try and get a scrimmage for tomorrow, being 5/28. And if you watched to this far in the video, please DM me on Discord the word fruitcake. Okay. Thank you for watching, everybody.